First, I didn't know in 2018 that I would have a pandemic. Second, that we'll have a slowdown with the economy, a second one right now. Of course, also we saw that cuts that have been done by the Liberal government in healthcare and in education had to be changed. And so if you take all that into consideration, I think that it's not a surprise.
But you were so much for fiscal discipline.
Yeah.
And now you are here this morning justifying, defending the management of your government of public finances.
Yeah, but we have to look at the real figure. This year, it's 1.5 of the GDP. Next year, it's 1%. In 2 years from now, so before the election, it's 0.3. So 0.3 of 1% of the GDP. So I think it's reasonable, taking into consideration the choice we made to invest in education and healthcare and to put back money to the Quebecers.
What do you like about the word record deficit?
But it's not true. Yes, I'm sure of that. Yeah, je sais que c'est en noir et blanc, mais ce qu'on voit là, puis je vais, sorry, in English, okay, I'll give you the exact figures, all right? 1980-81, CAQ government, deficit of 4.7% of the GDP. 84-85, 3.8%, it was a PQ government. 94-95, 3.3%, a Liberal government. 92-93, 3.1% of deficit, Liberal government. And 96-97, 1.7%, it was a PQ government. This year, in 24-25, we have a deficit of 1.5% of the GDP. So if you look in the history of Quebec since 1980, it's not a record. It's the sixth most important, but the sixth one, not the first one.
But that was 25 years ago. We're talking what the latest one was, 96, 97?
96, 97. Yeah, I know, but it was before Mr. Bouchard, and I think it's important. We made a choice in 98 to come back with a balanced budget. But when I hear about 11 billion, it's not 11 billion, it's 8.8 billion. Revenue less expenses, it's 8.8 billion. Nowhere in the world you count the reimbursement of the debt, all right? And in the past, especially if you go back to 1980, of course, there was no generation fund. So we have to take into consideration the inflation. Of course, when you look at a deficit of 3 or 5 billion 20 years ago, comparing with 8.8 today, it's more in proportion of the GNB.
It's not as bad as what people are saying. Is essentially what you're saying.
I just say that it's not true that it's 11 billion, and it's not true that it's the worst. It's the sixth worst.